I think it's important first to do what we always do. I want to introduce a couple of commitments that I believe are very, very good. And I want to make sure I haven't lost it. First, I'd like to invite here Jay Snyder and Max Snyder of the Open Hands Initiative and Shafika Hashash of Open Hands. And I want to, as they're coming up here, I want to explain that Open Hands was established in 2009, just last year, to play a role in finding common ground between America and the Arab world. And they determined that one of the commonalities our regions share is the need not only to fight discrimination against, but to empower disabled people, both in the Arab world and in the United States. They are the world's largest minority. 10% of the world's population, about 650 million people, live with a significant disability. And they face discrimination, or at least the lack of the necessary and affordable tools to empower them virtually everywhere in the world. Open Hands Initiative commits to produce a free original comic book starring a cross-cultural superhero. That sounds like an oxymoron, but it's not. With disabilities who holds both American and Syrian values. The comic book will help to establish trust and understanding between the cultures to empower young people with disabilities. The initiative brought together disability advocates from the United States and Syria for a Youth Ability Summit in Damascus. Disabled youth worked with artists and experts to start creating their ideal superhero. 50,000 comics featuring the superhero will be distributed to children in both countries beginning in February of next year. Open Hands Initiative estimates that after the comics are shared and handed down, 250,000 people will have read them. Eventually, the series will expand to feature superheroes representing other marginalized groups from South Asia to the Middle East. It's a really interesting idea. Let's give them a hand. As you might imagine, this is one of our bigger challenges in Haiti as a result of the earthquake. And I want to thank my friend Rolando and Monica Bunster for the work they've done with their children in promoting the distribution of usable wheelchairs that function in poor environments with rocky streets and still can be carried around and moved around and don't wear out. But if you think about this, wherever you're from, you have to acknowledge it is a significant global problem, and the inability of people with disabilities to finish their education and then get into the workforce is a big economic drag everywhere, as well as a human tragedy. So this is what I hope is just step one in the emphasis that many of our members will give to this.